Generative AI has transformed the way we work. And as every company rush into adding AI into their own products or building AI products from the ground up, there is no better time to be in product than it is today. In this video, I want to share top hard skills that you need to learn to either break into product or supercharge your product career. Let's dive in. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2025. My name is Raheel. I'm an entrepreneur and a product leader currently living and working in Dubai. Over the past couple of months, a lot has changed, especially because of generative AI. The way we work, the way we build products, it has completely transformed. And as companies think about building new products, the need for product managers, product experts has never been higher than it is today. So this is the perfect time you want to be in this space. So I wanted to create this video because the way we evaluated product managers or how we broke into product 12 months ago has evolved a little bit more. Now you require a little bit more skills, but there's one secret skill that you need to master along with the others to really supercharge your product career. But before we dive into what the skills are, we really need to understand the basics. What does a PM actually do? Now, imagine any product. Google Chrome is a good example. So when Sundar Pichai took over the project, his responsibility was to make sure that Google builds the best browser experience for their customers. So imagine a similar product. The role of the product manager is to make sure that the product gets built for the right audience at the right time and the right product actually gets built out and is successful in the market. So it's as simple as that. So a product manager starts by really identifying what the requirements are, what the problem is that they're trying to solve, and figure out who has that problem. Then through multiple research methodologies, they try to figure out what is the need in the market. Is the market good enough for us to launch this product? And once they've gathered all these requirements, next they define what the user flows, what the experience, how they're going to deliver that experience. Once the user flows are defined, the product manager works with the designers to really understand how it's going to look like in reality. And then those requirements are transformed or translated into user stories or acceptance criteria for the developers to start developing it. At the same time, the product manager is working with the business side to really quantify the impact of the product. What is the value that it could bring to an organization? How much more revenue it can generate? And all these metrics that have an impact on the bottom line. And eventually, once the product gets built on time, what is going to be the launch strategy? What is going to be the go-to-market strategy? And how are we going to measure the success of the product? This entire product life cycle from inception to launch is the responsibility of the product manager. And to get all of this done, there are several hard skills that a product manager needs to master. So let's dive into what the skill sets are. All right, so there are essentially 8 core skills. One bonus that I'll talk about at the end of the video, but 8 core skills. Number 1 is research and market analysis skill. Now, this basically includes your secondary research and primary research abilities. Secondary research means going into web search, identifying how the market is behaving, what the opportunity is, how large the opportunity is, what is the competitive analysis within the industry. And this really gets easier when you know certain frameworks like Porter's 5 forces, SWOT analysis, and other competitive analysis framework that you can use to identify the pain points of your customers. The second part within the market analysis is user interviews. So how do you conduct user interviews, and how do you empathize with the customer to really identify what the user is looking for and how you can solve their pain points? The idea of market research analysis is really figure out what the narrative is. Is there an opportunity or is there not an opportunity? And if there is an opportunity, where is that opportunity? So having good research skills is one of the critical skills that is required for you to be successful as a product manager. Second skill that you need to master as a product manager is financial and risk analysis. Now, this is critical. Now, you really have to think about the feature that you're trying to launch. What is the financial impact on profitability on the bottom line of a company? Will it bring in more revenue? If it will, how much more revenue will it bring? If we get X amount of users, what is the impact in terms of dollar value to the specific customer? For example, when I launched buy now, pay later capability within Cafu, I had to map out and forecast the revenue for the next 6 months, including what our cost structure is going to be, what is the percentage that goes to the vendor, and at the end of the day, given all the resources, given all the cost, what is the net profit that the company will receive at the end of 6 months. Then at the end of the day, you also have to manage what the risks are, because not every single product that you build comes with risk. It could be an industry risk, it could be a feature risk, it could be an internal resource risk. So identifying all those risks and figuring out a way or a game plan to mitigate those, these are two things that you really need to master. And this is, but in general, this is one skill set, which is financial and risk analysis that you need to master. So if you understand the idea how to build projections, how to build how to conduct financial analysis, run numbers, learn a bit of accounting, because that would really come in handy, because this is exactly what it is all about. And then eventually using Google Sheets to build your forecast and a narrative that you can share with your leadership, Scott. Third skill to master as a product manager is prioritization. Now, you'll get tons of feature requests whenever you're defining a new opportunity. There's a lot to pick from. How do you prioritize, which is the most important part? Here, you need to master prioritization frameworks like the Kano model, jobs to be done framework, design thinking principles. Now, all of this really help you identify what are the core features that you can focus on in phase one, and what can you deprioritize for phase two and phase three. The idea for prioritization is to understand that what is the minimum set of requirement that you need that will help you deliver the right product to the right customer at the fastest possible way without reducing the overall financial impact on the bottom line. Now, the fourth skill to master as a product manager is learning how to write good PRDs. A PRD is a product requirement document. Now, this is a living document that includes the entire narrative of why you're building the product, what the solution is, how will the solution look like, who are the people who are going to work on the solution, what are the timelines, what are the deliverables, and what is the go-to-market strategy, and how will you measure success. So this document is basically the end-to-end. It's a Bible for a specific product that you're going after. And as a product manager, if you can't write good PRDs, that basically means that your narrative, your communication abilities are not strong enough. Because the requirements, everyone needs to really understand: the business users, the technical users, the legal guys, the developers. And basically, the PRD has all that information. Now, there are several tools that you can use to write PRDs. You can write them in a Google Doc. You can use Confluence by Jira to write them down. But eventually, it's the structure of a PRD. It's how you narrate the story, how you craft the problem and the solution that makes it an important document. And which is why, since everyone will be looking at this document when they're building the product, when they're looking at the go-to-market strategy, this document needs to be super, super crisp and super, super effective, which is why writing good PRDs is a good sign of a good product manager. The fifth skill to master as a product manager is understanding user experience and crafting good user flows. This basically means that you have to deliver value to your customers, right? So user flows are: where does the customer start, and what path will the customer take to get to point B, which is the value. So for example, when you're using Chrome, the user experience might be a customer comes on to the homepage of their laptop, they click on the browser icon, the browser opens up, they go onto the search bar, write google.com, the search box comes up, enters a query, which is how they're going to use Google, or how they use the Chrome, the search function in Google Chrome. This is what a user flow is. And then by defining user flows, you're basically just trying to figure out what the customer experience is going to look like. Then you work with designers, you collaborate with them, and they take your user flows and convert them into screens. It could be it could be a web app, it could be a mobile application. But really understanding how to create those user flows, how to create those prototypes, wireframing. These skills are critical when you're defining user flows and user experience. And there are a lot of tools out there that you can use. You can use Whimsical, you can use Figma, you can use Figma Jam, and then there's Product Plan, tons of tools that help you define user flows and creating prototypes and wireframes. All right, the sixth skill to master as a product manager is how to lead a project. Now, this includes learning project management skills. Because think about this, at the end of the day, launching a product from inception to launch is a project that you have to manage. This includes planning the project out, defining what the timelines are going to be, what are the resources that you need, where will these resources be allocated, how will they work together, what is the budget that you need. Then eventually, you're going to keep tracking whatever you're working on, whatever everyone is working on in a project tracker that will be shared across the organization. And that will basically help you manage the entire project. Because remember, every single day you waste is money wasted. So you have to make sure that you're running a tight ship. Now, within this phase, you're also talking to developers, you're creating user stories and acceptance criteria. This is the information that developers need to turn your business requirements or features into a developed piece of work. Now, the developers are going to tell you, or they're going to define story points, which basically is how much time do they need to get that feature or that small part of the story out in development. Now, there are several tools that you can use. We use Jira, you can use Asana. There's a lot of other project management tools out there, project trackers. And if you really want to dive deeper into the realm of project management, I would highly recommend take the PMP test, which is the project management certification or something. And that will really help you develop this skill set. The seventh skill that you need to master as a product manager is data analysis and experimentation. Now, data analysis is key because you'll be working with a lot of data. It could be a secondary data that you got from a research report. It could be data that is coming from within the application. Now, you really have to understand how to analyze that. So having good Excel skills will always come in handy. And if you're a coder who knows how to run Python scripts, even better. Then you really need to also understand what the metrics are for your specific business. If you're a B2B business or a software SaaS business, you would really care about recurring revenue on a monthly and on an annual basis. You would run analysis like cohort analysis to really understand that you're acquiring 10 features, how they are 10 customers and how they are progressing, how many are retaining over the next couple of weeks. So you really need to understand this information to become a successful product manager, because you'll be taking decisions, monitoring information that will lead either to a successful product or to a failed product. At the same time, you need to learn the art of experimentation, which basically is how do you build experiments to test which works and which doesn't really work. This includes A/B testing, multivariate testing. Netflix runs a lot of these experimentation on you. They could just change the color of the button. They could just change the color of the font just to see which gives a higher conversion rate. So understanding all these metrics, all these terms, and how to run experiments is critical skill that you need to master. There are several tools out there. You have Mixpanel, you have Amplitude to set up tracking events. You have Firebase Analytics, you have Google Analytics. So there are a lot of tools out there, but how you use them is the key skill. Mastering technical lingo. This is how you talk to the technical people out there, because most of the products that we're building are technical in nature. They have an element of technology, of software around them. So really understanding how front-end development works, what are the frameworks used by front-end developers, how back-end developers work, what are the frameworks used by them, what are APIs, and then understanding how the data is transmitted across from the back end to the front end into the databases. So understanding how databases are structured, what are the fields, what are the variables that you require, and how those variables connect to some other module within your application or within your product. So understanding those relationships, understanding how tables are constructed, they will really help you build or architect a solution that is robust. So understanding these lingos will go a long way, especially as we go into the realm of AI agents, they all talk via APIs between each other. There's data sharing, there's data passing. So understanding those objects, how they're crafted, is a critical skill that you must master in 2025. Finally, let's talk about the most critical skill that will redefine your career in 2025, and that is how you use AI to supercharge your work. Now, when I say using AI, that basically means using ChatGPT, Claude, and the idea of AI agents to augment your work. And I'll give you an example. 6 months ago, if it was taking me 7 days to write a PRD, for example, now it's taking me a couple of hours to complete the PRD process. And that is what the power of ChatGPT and Claude is. At the same time, when I'm writing user stories and acceptance criteria, I don't need to write anything from scratch. And instead, what I can do is I can simply provide the PRD to Claude, and I can ask Claude to give me all the user stories and acceptance criteria. All my job is to actually review, give feedback, and improve. And what used to take hours are taking minutes. And at the same time, now you're creating a PRD, you're creating user stories, and then you're manually going to add on Jira. So what I did, I created a workflow, agentic workflow. I used an AI agent to take my PRD, extract all the acceptance criteria, user stories, and automatically add to the Jira board in seconds. And if you're not thinking about how to leverage AI to augment each and every piece of your work, you're going to lose out. And as Jensen Huang completely rightly said, that AI is not going to replace you, it's going to be people who are using AI, they are going to replace you. So if you want to master one skill in 2025, be that it should be AI. And then leverage it with all the products, technical skills that you're acquiring, augment them with AI, and you will be unstoppable. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. All the skills that I've mentioned, I think they're exhaustive skills that you need to become a successful product manager. There are a couple of skills, but I think they're more soft skills, which is critical thinking and navigating the ambiguous sort of situations. And those are part of the soft skills. But in terms of technical skills, this is basically it. And if you master each one of them one by one, I'm pretty sure you can break into product. Or if you're an existing product manager and you know that you have to build these technical skills, build them the right way and augment your work by using AI. That is going to supercharge your productivity and it will help you get more work done. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like this video. And if you think this content is valuable, then share it with your friends. And if you have any questions, or if you want me to dive into any specific part of the video, mention it in the comments below. And if you haven't pressed that subscribe button, don't forget to do that. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.